So good afternoon, everyone. We are going to be talking about the International Healthcare Delivery class that's going to be taught in the spring semester. It's a spring extension class. That means that's a spring semester course at TU, but that the group, all students enrolled in the class, you travel together at the end of the semester to Greece for about 9 days. So it's considered a travel course or a faculty-led travel course. And the professors responsible for the course are Professors Greg Gardner and Professors Jeff Alderman. And Professor Jeff is here. Can you say hi?
Hello.
Great. So a little bit about the course, and let me move my slides here, the next slide. The course objectives is really Professor Gardner. Hopefully he'll be here in a few minutes to address those. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you overall, what we're really looking at is how care is delivered around the world. And so we're going to start out by looking at US healthcare delivery and then get a better understanding of how our system, is same and different than, say, systems around the world. As you know, here in the US, we have a fairly privatized medical system that is pretty extensive, but doesn't include everyone. And in countries like Greece and many other countries around the world, governments provide free healthcare for its citizens, but there are challenges in government-led programs as well. So we're going to do a lot of comparing and contrasting. And what is unique about Greece is that you have a large number of migrants that are descending into not just the Greek islands, but into Athens and the mainland of Greece as well, looking for opportunity. And these are people that have literally walked from countries like Lebanon and Syria that are in conflict. And they're hoping not just for a better life, but they also need health and healthcare. So what this course is really going to do is look at some of the challenges that occur when strain is placed upon healthcare delivery systems, particularly when there's an influx of migrants. And there are some lessons, I think, to learn for us here in the US as more people are seeking health, but we tend to administer it differently. So we'll spend a lot of time in the classroom exploring these issues, comparing and contrasting. And then when we get to Greece, we're going to actually work with several Greek clinics that are providing care to migrant populations. We're going to get to meet some of the people that have walked and made the journey from basically one continent to another, and what that has entailed in terms of their overall ability to thrive. So I think it'll be a unique course. I think it'll be really special getting to witness these stories and hear these people share about the events that have transpired in their lives. You can't do that very easily in a classroom. You really get that from interacting with people. So that's why I like the fact that there's the travel component, because it kind of takes all of these theoretical ideas and brings them home.
Oh, very good. Sounds very interesting. I want to go. I want to join you all. So let's talk a little bit about the logistics of the course. And I see one more student, Bella, is here as well. Hi, Bella. So the course timeline is a spring course, as I said, so January to April, just like any other spring course here on campus. The group will travel between May 7th and May 17th, 2023. I have a star there by the date because we haven't bought the tickets yet, so that's what we are planning on doing. But because of airfare and things like that, we might have to change, but chances are very small. We probably those are the dates of the trip.
I think May 7th is right after TU graduation.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So the final coursework and final projects will be due after the completion of the travel. So travel is a required part of the course. To enroll in the course, you also enroll in the travel. Attendance and participation are key factors for passing the course. So when you are in Athens, doing all the activities, participating in the visits, all those things are part of the grade of the course. It might be a day that there's a tour, there's sometimes parts of the schedule that are optional because they're more tourism. Then yes, those are, you get to go to those amazing opportunities, but it's not part of the grade because you don't have to go. But I'm sure that if you're there, you might want to partake in those as well. The cost. So the total cost for the program plus airfare is $2,800. So we have that the program fee is $1,300, and then the airfare that we're looking at the moment is $1,500. So that to the total $2,800. Have a story there because if there's a huge change on the airfare, we have the flights kind of pre-booked or like a hold on them, but I haven't booked them yet. So that's what we're looking at for the flights right now. So in this cost is then the round trip airfare is part of it, lodging, all your ground transportation, like transfers from the airport to the hotel, all transportation within Athens. Some meals are included, and all schedule excursions, tours, guides. So it's pretty all-inclusive trip. You might need some extra money for the meals that are not included in the program, and some students want to have amazing, huge meals. Some people want to eat less, just depends on your personal habits. I can tell you, I was in Athens myself in May this year, and I was very impressed by how inexpensive food is in Athens.
Yeah.
You can have a nice meal for $7. And I was like, wow, that was much cheaper than here, for example. So that was my experience.
And the food is really, really good.
Really, really good. Just the food alone is a reason to go to this course. So to cover for those costs, we also have some grants. So that fee is going to be placed on when you enroll the course, it's going to be part of your fees for the spring semester. However, we have some grants they can apply for. One is the CG Foreign Correspondent Grant. So we're giving $300 to a student in the course that will take pictures of some of the activities, do an Instagram live post for us, write a little blog entry about how the trip went. So it's not a lot of requirements, but we want you to be our foreign correspondent within the trip. We also have a $300 GEM grant, and GEM is the Global Engagement Mentor. And the student that will be the mentor will be kind of our helper and help mentoring the other students going on the course. So somebody has questions that other student can answer, or be kind of a liaison between the students and then the faculty during the trip, or me before the trip as we're getting things situated. It's not a lot of hours of commitment, it's just little things here and there just to help us make a trip a success. And also we have the critical need grant, which you have to be considered critical need by the Student Financial Services Office. We'll send them a list and they tell us who they consider critical need. And so these are the people that we could grant some additional money to. And it's a variable amount, just depends on the situation. We have a pot of money, depending on how many students apply, depends on what the need is. Besides those CGE grants, there is also the Gilman Scholarship, which is a nationwide scholarship funded by the State Department that if you are a Pell Grant recipient, you can apply for the Gilman Scholarship. Application is coming up pretty soon. I believe that's in 2 weeks, but you still have time if you are a Pell Grant to apply for this scholarship. Getting ready, check the validity of your passport, and if your passport is going to expire pretty soon. If your passport is going to expire less than 6 months after your trip to Greece, so before October 2023, you should apply for a new passport. So now it's time to start applying for a new passport. I also check the most recent COVID vaccinations and make sure you have the latest booster. Travel regulations between Greece and the US keep changing, of course, throughout the development of COVID. When I was there in May, you had to show proof of vaccination to enter the country. And And then when we were there, we had to do the COVID test to come back to the US. Right now, we don't have to do that COVID test to come back to the US. And I don't know by the time the course goes through Athens, if you have to have the COVID shot, you have to prove that you have COVID vaccine, or if it's optional.
The best place to look that stuff up is usually the CDC website. They'll have a section on travel, And I think Greece still requires proof of vaccination. And right now, you're right, there's no requirement to come back to the US, but it's all fluid. It could change tomorrow.
And we'll keep you informed. I mean, as soon as you enroll in the course and you are registered with the CGE, we will be letting you know those things. So we'll, give you some regular updates and reminders and things like that. But just so you know that these are some considerations. And to get ready, also apply to the CGE grants. So in the registration process, you enroll in the class. So it's a spring class. You're going to enroll when enrollment opens. But also you have to register with the CGE. And our registration, you just ask for a copy of your passport, there's a emergency contacts. It's a very quick and simple kind of registration. It's not very complicated, but there's one document there, which is the commitment form. That's when you decide, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna sign this commitment form, I'm committed to go. So when you enroll in the course and have that commitment form signed, that's when I know, okay, you're going. And December 1st, that's our date that we have for commitment. So for you to commit in the course, because then that's when I'm going to book the airfare, tell our partners in Greece that you're coming. So start making arrangements on your behalf. So we need to know by December 1st that you are serious about going. Any questions about that? So Greece. We have a lot of fun activities planned for this trip. The trip is in a partnership with Global Brigades, which is an organization in Greece and actually all over the world, but they help give medical care for different populations. So it's not only, it's going to be a fun cultural trip. They're going to see a lot of different sites and visit different places out in Athens and also in one of the islands or the coast rather, but you're also going to spend some time with the Global Brigades staff, and you're going to visit the clinic, you're going to work on a project with the Global Brigades, and you're going to learn about medical care in Athens, and you're going to visit several things related to that. Do you want to add something else about our activities?
No, I mean, the thing is that we don't really specifically emphasize Greek history, mythology, cuisine, but take it all in especially if you've not been to Greece. It's amazing.
Yes, you can give when the class that I was there with in May was about public space. So we're looking at how the public space changed the culture, influenced the culture, how Greece was the birth of the democracy. So you can look at the same place and look at it so many different angles, right? So you can take in the art, the archaeology, the history, political science, but in this case, we're going to be focused on the medical aspect of it, but everything is part of it. They're going to be there for. So less like his questions, but I'm going to just show you something here. If you go to the CGU website, which is global.utelsa.edu, you can go to the abroad portal. And then there's different ways you can find a program. You can go to explore programs and then search by spring extension, which is this class. It's spring extension, so search. So then you're going to see here the spring extension classes. So here's the class. And then I'll show you the kind of the draft itinerary. So the flyer, and then you can see the proposed itinerary. So little changes can happen like one day to the other, but this pretty much is the content of the trip. So you can look through and see what you're doing. And then program fee 1,300, airfare about 1,500, and then the extra meals that we are budgeting, that's just an estimation. And then in here, the next tab, you can see the scholarships and then the link to apply to the different scholarships. So going back to the flyer here. Any questions, please email Dr. Greg Gardner, that's his email there, Dr. Jeff Alderman, or the CGE. You can reach the CGE at global@utelsa.edu, or my email is laura-seminal@utelsa.edu. So I'm going to stop the recording now.